Are we ready? Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. Hello and welcome to Ochlo Nature Kindergarten. Here we are on our third day of our inquiry around flight and all things that fly. If you remember, we've been looking at things like parachutes, we've been looking at things like helicopters, and today we're going to look at something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at the idea of flight and how we could potentially engage ourselves in exploring planes in some way. So welcome to everybody who's watching. We're going to watch our little provocation film now, and then I'm going to get back to my friends who are with me today, and we'll hear some of their ideas and theories about what they want to make. All right, over to you, Bravo. Let's watch that film.
Welcome to this film where we're going to be getting ready. We've had a brilliant inquiry so far looking at the idea of flying and how wonderful it is to watch birds fly in the sky and what inspiration they give us to explore the ideas. We started off by being fascinated by dandelion seeds and how they have the parachutes that help them move around. So we've done work on parachutes. We've also been thinking about the idea of helicopter seeds and how we can look at the idea of spinning and twisting. Let's have a little look at some of the things that we've been thinking about, because we've been hard at work. We've had to go out into the forest and look in the garden for different types of leaves that give us enough strength, that aren't too floppy, that are rigid enough, that are okay to pick, that would be attached to something. So there's been huge amounts of scientific experimentation and testing going on as we've been trying to choose our leaves to attach to our designs. Some of us have been inspired by attaching lots of leaves, and so we've attached 10 leaves. Other people have made it very simple and gone for 2. Either way, it's required us to climb up gates. We've had to climb up trees to give us our sense of launch. We've been exploring helicopters, spinning shapes and flying objects. And to do that, we've looked at recycling paper and taking apart cardboard boxes. And all of our designs have been really interesting to see. We've tried different amounts of little propellers. We've tried to actually be very accurate in our measurements, as you can see, using protractors and rulers, thinking about angles and our mathematics. Other people have been looking at the use of technology and engineering. We're looking at circuitry. We've been beautiful in colouring in. We've been looking at colour and pattern and how when things twist, they can make colours blend together. In our memory books and in our learning journals, we've been doing lots of talking and thinking. Here are some of the things that we said. We said that the size of the blades of a helicopter make a difference, and we did lots of research about the fact that helicopters can move backwards. We chose the right leaves. We talked about our launch. We made sure that actually some of them, things like big mixers that you find on construction sites, also rotate. Drills go round and round and spiral into a piece of wood. We've worked out that we can spin on our trampolines, that when we have dresses with big skirts on, we can spin around and they flare out. So we've been thinking a lot about our language. For those people who like to know more in depth about what we've been learning, these are some of the things that we've been doing. We've been looking at the idea and concept of rotation. We've been thinking about the spin and how important it was to us that our products, our little machines that we made, actually spun when we launched them off. We realised that our launch sequence is really important. We made sure that we actually released them with a bit of a spin to get a good effect. Some of us talked about the weight, and we added different numbers of paper clips to see how much weight we could add and what effect it had. We've talked a lot about design and colour. We've been using such complex language, new words about rotation and things about helicopters that we might not have known before. Some of us have pushed ourselves into exploring sets that we've got that help test the idea of electricity, circuitry, power, lots of really good physics going on there. We've all been using mathematics. There are millions of things that we've actually been learning about today just by being outside and looking at the natural world. Just the idea of spinning seeds has led to so much thinking. So let's look inside that talking tub again and wonder what it is we're going to do next. Well, looking inside the talking tub, I wonder how it is that things glide and soar. And the reason that I've come up with that is that our photographs help us to really be interested in how things work. We can find photographs inside books like this. We can find photographs and films from our computers, and some of us have gone to do our research on a computer or a laptop. We can also find photographs that friends have shown us, and that's really important to realise that we can find out from all these other places, but we can also find out really good thinking from our friends. I started thinking about soaring when I was watching a bird of prey and how it was soaring on the big thermal, a big bit of heat that was moving up over the field. And it looked so effortless. And I started to wonder, how is it that the bird manages to soar so effectively? I look at pictures like this and I wonder, does something about the feathers have something to do with this challenge? Is there something about those wingtips that help the bird? Is there something about that tail that helps it operate and makes it stable in the sky? When we watch birds, those wings come down not to only help them glide, but also by changing their angle, help them to stop so they can act like a brake. If anybody's been to the seaside, you've seen seagulls. And seagulls are very good at moving around each other, but also coming in to try and take our chips that we might be eating when we're sitting on the front of the sea. There are other things that soar, and this is a little tiny flying squirrel. It's amazing. It has these flaps either side of it that help it soar from one tree to another. And so it could be when we look at our capes, we'll be thinking a little bit about how we can make suits, like base jumping suits that help us soar through the sky. Let's leave the sugar glider squirrel for a minute and think a little bit about another thing that glides. This is a glider plane, and it has very long wings, but it has no engine. It's taken up into the sky and then let go, and it glides its way back down to earth. You may have had this toy, and it's a way of putting together a kit that gives your glider wings, and it has that tail a bit like a bird to help it work out which way it's going to go. We can take model planes like this and go to the park. We can put all our energy into throwing our planes and give them the force, give them the energy to move and fly. There's usually a pilot involved. Now, if you're making a plane today and you like the idea of paper planes, then you might want to think what your pilot is going to be. Are you going to put somebody in there so that you can transport them as well as just throwing your paper plane? You might decide that you don't want a pilot to be on top of your paper plane, but maybe you're going to go more for a hang gliding style, which means your little pilot, your little person is going to be underneath your wings. However it is that you decide to make your idea of a glider, we're going to need to get some things together. Find that recycled paper so we can use that. Sometimes it's good to have some scissors because we might want to shape it in different ways. If you want to make your plane unique, you might need to find your crayons and your colouring things so you can add detail. Whether you're going to give it a name, is it going to have a certain tail fin on it? Give it colours that give it identity. However it is that you decide to make your gliding object, I look forward to seeing all of your discoveries, listening to your theories and joining you to get going in playing outside. I look forward to seeing you in the virtual classroom.
All right, here we are. So that's us had a little look at the film, and we've been chatting about what we've been seeing on the screen. And now what we're going to do is we're going to open up our real talking tub, and I'm going to give these guys a bit of a challenge. So inside the talking tub, we've got some bits of paper, and you could use old magazines, and that's quite good because that means you're recycling paper. So I'm going to put these on the table, and we're going to see if we can work out how could you fold something to make a plane. All right, ready, steady, go. I'm going to do this. All right, made it. All right, what are you going to do? Let me have a look at your designs.
I folded my normal way, then I fold it over again.
Okay.
And we're just making paper aeroplanes.
They're making paper aeroplanes. I've got a bit of a trick on mine.
Yeah, you discovered that. That's your little trick. I like that trick, Claire.
I like that trick. It's going to fly, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to try it in a minute.
I don't know if this will work.
Well, let's give it a go.
Well, I'm really good at making.
Fantastic. And what's your thoughts? Are you going to have a go at making it?
Done. Oh my gosh.
You ready? Oh, look at this one. Show that one. That's amazing. Well done. Good on you, James. Hold on. Wait for the launch. Wait for the launch.
Okay, I'm ready.
That's great.
I might
And
need
let's
some
do this.
tape. We don't need some
Right, but just for our first one, let's see. Are you ready? Have you got something you can throw? All right, that's okay. Okay, we're going to try. Where are we going to try and get them out? Through the window. So in this building, it's called the Nest. And what we do here is it has open sides because it's really only to shelter us from the worst of the rain. But as you can see, it has no windows. It just has a low wall. So we're all going to try now and let's try getting it out of that window when we're ready and see how well our objects fly. So I'm going to go for my scrunched up ball, which is a new type of aeroplane. Never seen built before.
It's called the S-ball.
It's called the S-ball. And we're going to see if it flies. Okay, ready, everybody? We're going to try and get it through that hole. Ready?
No.
Hold on. You all right?
I'm not very good at this.
You're perfect.
Don't blame my art.
No, you're fine. You're doing very well.
I folded it the wrong way.
All right, here we go.
So did I.
All right, we're going out that window. Ready? All right, get the pointy bit. Ready? You ready? Set, go. Oh. Oh well. We didn't quite make it out the window, but never mind. All right, come and sit back down and let's have a look because we do have one thing to share with you just now. We'll go back and collect all our paper from outside in a minute and keep on using that. So let's have a little go. We're just going to lift something up because some of these guys are a little bit older. And so this is the airport that was made this morning by my friend over here, James. So, James, would you like to tell us very briefly about your plan for this amazing airport? Isn't that amazing?
The planes are all going to go under here.
Yeah.
And then you're going to take shots. And you put your planes on this ramp. And then we have we're going to get an elastic that goes around here. And and then you pull it back. And you can hook it on here before someone else has a go. And then you take it off and let it go, and it should just.
And it's going to propel it up this slope and off.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I have a lever.
And you have a lever that we need to try and fix. You were saying. All right, excellent. Thanks for sharing that.
I fixed the broken one. Then this one.
And now that one's moving as well. That's because we have a pivot bed. Never mind. All right. So, are we ready to get going and have a go at designing and rethinking our little aeroplanes?
Today. We could paint this today.
You could paint that
I
today.
want to paint it.
All right, are we ready to come and sit down, everybody? In a minute, we'll have another go later on. Okay, everybody, it looks like we're really keen to get going. So wherever you're joining us from, whether you're in Scotland or somewhere in the world, we're really delighted that you're joining us on this inquiry. We look forward to hearing all of your ideas and sharing those in the Facebook group, and we'll be able to then give you feedback and talk a little bit about your design. So from my friends here, we'd like to say goodbye and happy flying. Ready to say goodbye? Bye. See you later.